Bonjour, everyone. Hi, this is Neshi Lokotz. Welcome to Star Nation's radio network on Facebook live stream, powered by Be Live, one of our partners, business partners. I'm your host tonight for Star Nation's Communications from Home. And tonight I have a really nice guest with me because this person and I, we get along pretty darn good. We laugh a lot, and she has some new stuff going on that I wanted to share with you and to make sure that you catch her show on Thursday mornings. And so I thought, what better way than to bring her on to be able to tell us about her new format. But before we do that, I wanted to say welcome to everybody. Welcome to, and I see some people in the live chat already. Hi there, guys. You want to do me a favor, if you can, please like the broadcast and share it out. And if somebody could do me a favor and share it to the Star Nation's radio network closed group for me, if you're one of the members, I would appreciate that. My phone is been doing some funky things today. Don't know why. I was in the middle of a trivia game over lunch hour, and I was trying to post something for it, and I was getting some strange things there. And so if you could do that for me, I really would appreciate it. I would appreciate the help, because I see a couple people in there. I think Rob is in the chat room. If you could do that, I'd appreciate it. And so welcome to Star Nation's Communications from Home. And I'm going to get started. My guest, I normally take because she's also a contributing writer to Star Nation's magazine. And what I usually do is I take out their bio and I read it to you because it comes directly out of the magazine, right? But tonight, what I want to do is share with you how I see my guest. This guest is this woman who has a sense of humor that will make you smile and touch your heart, right? And she is a very spiritual person. That's how she lives her life. It's a lifestyle. It's nothing that, she went out and said, I'm going to do this because I want to be cool. It's because it touched her heart and it made her feel whole. That's what she's told me. And she's also a radio show host for us on Star Nation's radio network. Her show is on Thursday mornings at 8 a.m. Central Time, 9 a.m. Eastern Time. And she also writes for us. She's a spiritual teacher. She lives in New Hampshire. And she's got a son that is, I tell you what, we've been working on Be Live stuff and computer stuff. And if someone had a son like hers, he jumps right in there and helps her out with all the technical stuff. And to watch them work together is a treat, because a lot of times you don't see that. A lot of times you don't see that kind of love between a mother and son that way. So I want to introduce you to my friend. Bring her on. Her name is Meg Annutto. And we're going to make sure she has a microphone. I did that the other night. And we didn't have a microphone on Deb. Welcome to the show, Meg.
How are you?
Good. I wanted to say this while you're on the screen with me, that as a spiritual teacher and a spiritual guide, that you got the Mott's lady. Because watching how you do your show and reading your articles every other month, and I know that you have students right there in your home state, New Hampshire, and so I just want to say thank you for taking the time to be with us tonight.
Thanks for having me. How's that better? For helping me say hello to everybody and let everybody know what's going on.
Yeah. And the reason why I had invited you on the show is because you did a little bit of a change up with your show, Discovering Infinite Grace. And you went from an hour show on the last Thursday night of the month, an hour show, to a weekly show that's about 15-20 minutes long or so. And you changed your format a little bit, and I would like you to share that with our listeners, with our audience. You told me that it's about transformational prayer.
Mm-hmm.
And so my question to you is, what makes a prayer transformational?
So that's a good question. For me, I've always known that prayer has been transformational in my life. But as I started to study the different spiritual principles, I started to learn energetically how prayer works. Of course, I can't see everything and know everything that it really truly does, but I know it's pretty spectacular with how I see it move energetically in people in their lives.
Mm-hmm.
So the whole practice of that is it depends on it's having a little more deeper understanding of how to use prayer, where your mind is, being that our thoughts, energy follows thoughts, then thoughts, go and move into form. And if we're going to transform anything in our life, it has to start with our thoughts. And sometimes we need tools, we need support, and we need to connect with our intuition and that inner guidance system. And for me, prayer aligns me quickly to God, to the Divine Father, Divine Mother, how whatever you describe as something higher consciousness than yourself. And the transformation comes in is when we have an understanding that, of the little nuances of prayer. Prayer works, God knows your intention in your heart. So that, you can pray however, there is really no, set way. But if you're going to transform it and become more self-aware, and increase your awareness and your authenticity, prayer can help move that. And we know that when we become more authentic, more self-aware, we already begin to transform our perceptions and our beliefs and align it energetically with those things that we want in life. And I feel most importantly that prayer allows me, and I think with this 55 weeks, hopefully teach people how to become resilient while they're living life, because that's when you can live a life and still have joy and understanding, even when you're going through some really, tough things that a lot of us go through every day. None of us are immune from it. And praying it away, it's not going to happen because we're here for life experiences that help us grow in our soul's evolvement and enlightenment, but also to overcome that of the physical, that that duality that we see here, and to look above the fray of it. So for me, prayer is a great way to stay connected to that higher altitude of grace, that information, that alignment, that divine love that sometimes we forget. We forget because the world flirts with us every day in its chaotic atmosphere. And so aligning every day brings us back to center and gives us that really nice pathway.
Right. I think it's that alignment. Oh, we have a bit of an echo going on here.
Okay, now I have my thing turned down low.
Yeah, I know. I think it's on my end. I do. Let's see. And I'm just gonna. I think I have everything turned off I can have, so I should have.
Yeah, I think it stopped. Did it stop?
Yeah, there was a little. See, there's a squeak there. But anyway, I just thank you for that. I wanted everybody to know what your definition is of prayer and then what makes it transformational. I just want to say hello to Jocelyn. Hi, Jocelyn.
Hi, Jocelyn.
Thank you for being with us tonight. One of the things that I know about making your connection to the Creator, to God, is that, and I heard this once a long time ago, and then I realized, that's really something how my grandpa, my Misho, had talked to us when very young, about, I don't know, 13 years old, maybe 12. he used to say that when you pray, granddaughter, he says you're talking to him, you're talking to the Creator,
Mm.
and he said when you're quiet, you're listening
Mm-hmm.
to the Creator. And
Mm-hmm.
so basically, once I got older and actually started doing meditation, I realized that that conversation. It's
Yeah.
that conversation of our end when we're praying and doing the talking, and
Mm-hmm.
then it's the meditation or the quiet time when we're listening to the response or listening to spirit in that. Hi, Connie. Connie just popped into the chat. Hi, thank you for coming, Connie. And so your definition of the prayer being transformational, being centered. Um, I think that's why I got so excited about your show. About
Mm. I
the
got excited about it because I want to be centered, in my own life. Yeah.
yeah, and so you said something in your when you were explaining it to us about the 55 week, and I
Mm-hmm.
thought maybe you'd like to share even more about that with our audience, because why 55 weeks and what are you going to do with that?
Yeah. The 55 weeks, sometimes it can sound cliche that, it was guided, but it truly was guided. When I wanted to make a change, I could feel it start coming on, with the December magazine. I was going through a process. And so when I wrote the article, I was going through that desolation. And it was through in that time that things started to come to me that, about the importance of prayer, alignment. I use a lot of prayer in my work. So in the Akashic Records, there's a specific prayer that gets me exactly to the Akashic Records very effectively, swiftly, and you're going to a higher dimension very quickly with your consciousness. So I knew the importance of prayer. So when I started to develop it and decided I was getting to the end of December, I had to make a decision and a choice,
Mm-hmm.
and started to sit down and get serious about, okay, what does it look like? So, I just decided I'm going to do 55 weeks. And I was in the car with my husband, and I was telling him about, I want to do the 55 weeks. And he said, well, why 55 weeks? I said, for the year. And he goes, well, it's 52 weeks. And I said, you're right. And as many of us know, a lot of times when something quirky like that happens, it makes us go, we've learned to go, stop, wait a minute.
Mm-hmm.
Why is this? And so I decided to look up in the numbers book, and said, there might be something there. And lo and behold, 55 was a master number for transformation.
Yeah.
So I kind of course, chuckled because I know that somebody else is driving this bus far better than I am, and I'm just kind of the loudspeaker, the mouthpiece on the bus.
Mm-hmm.
It's bringing it down into this earth practice. So for me, I'm going to be benefiting this journey as I walk it. With others, it's great to have other people on the bus with me. And it's like a very comfortable place for me to be because growing up, enjoying prayer, I'm pretty sure I had several past lives as a nun, priest, or whatever, because prayer is where I'm comfortable. But
Uh-huh.
as growing up, it wasn't so comfortable being known, or it wasn't something you could easily share. Hey, let's go hang out on the back steps and pray. I wouldn't have gotten a lot of friends that way.
Uh-huh.
So it's nice now because I can be the cool kid to pray, because a lot of people, I think my age and in the age of Aquarius now, people are all guided to get that relationship, that personal relationship with Creator, however, God, the Holy Spirit. And so that's kind of how it started for me. So I'm hoping that within the 55 weeks, there will be different words that come up
Uh-huh.
each time, and then I will explore those through that mind, body, spirit connection. I'd studied a lot of NLP and the meanings of words and perceptions, and so looking at the word and actually breaking it down and how it applies to prayer, and how just to bring up different thoughts for your own self to I guess, create a dialogue, with God. And so like last week, it was about trust and the importance of that. In order to have prayer be transformational, we have to trust in a greater guidance than ourselves. So just little steps with the God box, and putting your trust in a box, and lowering your expectations and letting God, letting go, letting God. Simple things that sometimes people go, oh, that's really easy to be transform my doubt into trust through using this box as a tool. And next week, this Thursday, actually in a couple of days, will be about intention. And what does that mean? And
what does that mean to you?
It's how I go to God with that whatever problem that I may be. It may not even be a problem. It may be something very good in my life as well. To have a conversation that I'm grateful for, because when we have a relationship, it's not always we're complaining to our partner or the person, our children or family member or whoever we're in relationship, a coworker. We also have good times and fun times, and we share in the joy. So I think I forgot the question because I kind of went off that way.
Why intentional?
Oh, and so my intention would be, it's about, I want to transform. So obviously there's something in my life that perhaps it's not the most joyful time, or perhaps I'm struggling with a relationship, or just life in general, maybe my health, maybe a relationship, a job, my career, my friends, anything that I deal with here in the physical world, perhaps my spirituality, whatever that is, I want to look at that. And then my intention is, I'm going to approach it a little bit different, because obviously my, thinking that I had all the answers and that I was going along zippity-doo-dah just fine. Perhaps maybe my intentions may not be broad enough, deep enough, aligned with the will, my own will. So I want to use the intention that, expands the possibilities of grace for me.
Right.
So to broaden that intention, and make it as clear as possible, with a lot of, sometimes intention can have a lot of expectations around. Right. And how do I strip those expectations away? Sometimes I'm not even aware that I have expectations. And an expectation is basically something that protects me, but also controls others.
Right.
So if I know that, then I want to make sure when I go to God with my intention, what is my intention? Because there can be healing, right? You have the intention for healing. But sometimes my intention might be that I totally want to be healed, whatever that is. But healing takes on many forms. And that doesn't mean just because one form isn't how I expected to be healed, right, wasn't for my highest good. Because then I miss all the treasures and the miracles that happen around that through my expectation or what I feel. So intention is about kind of looking and examining those thoughts. And how can I, clear those away a little bit so that I can give room for God to come in. And lots of times, we have so many expectations and so many fears and judgments and resistance about things, right, that we are so cluttered, there is no room for the energy of God to really come in and transform. So intention is important to really kind of look at as one of the cornerstones. You have trust. It looks like intention was the next word. So like as I go along, it's kind of funny. I'm thinking, oh, how am I going to fill up 55 weeks with 55 words? But I have no problem. I think it's going to, if I just ask and then show me what is it about intention that's important to prayer. And so I'm learning along with it and grabbing all the things that I was blessed enough to study over these last 7 years. For me, last year was a master number for me. I'm coming full circle. And it was a very fast and furious education in spiritual, you name it. I was introduced to it. And so for me, it's about taking all of those fruits and making a nice fruit salad, and taking the best of what I know helped me or what comes to mind, and then share that with all, everything that I've experienced. And hopefully people will go, yeah, that makes sense. Or yeah, I like that. Or maybe I will give that a try.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm hoping for.
Well, and one of the other things that I found watching your first show last week is that I thought, what a wonderful way to start the day together,
Mm-hmm.
is to, because you also added a very touching prayer at the end, and I thought, this is really it's a wonderful way to start the day. And so I encourage our audience, if they haven't caught your show yet, so yeah, Thursday morning, 8 a.m. Central, 9 a.m. Eastern. And you can catch Meg's live show right here on Star Nations Radio Network from her fan page, Discovering Infinite Grace. And yeah, so I really applaud you taking that leap. A lot of people wouldn't have taken a leap of I don't want to even say it's courage, but it really is faith. It's
yeah.
Yeah.
It's really that, exactly. And that for me is all about the journey that I'm on to ultimately really trust. So I am getting, things in my life that are stretching that expansion to what I, have here, to expand it even more. And what's that mean? And how do I apply that? And how do I put that template of what I've already learned over that to continue my expansion for trust?
Right.
Or prayer, or transforming my own self. As I said before, that's the most important thing. When we work on ourselves, we transform ourselves. We're going to transform that collective whole, and that's what we're looking for.
Yep.
And that's the secret to it. It's not I'm going to change you and the person next to us, or those that are in government that I'm fearful of, or I'm not going to be able to do that. My greatest gift and my greatest chance to make a difference while I'm here is to transform myself. And then one light at a time, each of us transform the collective whole. So that's, where that all kind of started coming from, that article. Well, how does this work for me?
Right. Finding Ebenezer, I think, was the name of the
chasing. Yeah.
Chasing Ebenezer.
Yeah,
that was a great article.
That was, we all know those are like, they don't really come from you. I mean, they come through you more. You really just sit there and, again, pray about something, and you have a certain, different topic that, is given under the guise of whatever the month is, but it comes to you, and it comes through you. It works through you. It's a collaborative relationship.
It certainly is. All the way around.
Yeah.
I'm just going to check the time here.
Sure. And I do want to say something about the prayers. Like last week's prayer, I couldn't find a prayer, through books and different things that I read. So that one was given to me. The first part of the prayer was, "O Holy Spirit of God," is usually how the Akashic Record prayer starts. And then "Hover Over Me" is a lot from, because I study online with Carolyn Mace. She will always start a prayer with that "Hover Over Me." And I always just could feel that, nice closeness. So that's how I started. And then the dialogue started, what I wanted for that day from God to help me with and to help me see. But every week I will use different types of books. There's like this really cool book called The Cloud of Unknowing. And they don't know who the author is, but it was written way back before, they don't know really when it was. Oh, sure, sorry. It's called The Cloud of Unknowing. And a lot of times Carolyn Mace will pick something out of that that's very profound, and it's nice because it doesn't lead you how to think, but it inspires you to open your own awareness in your own personality, your own spirit, right? Your own expression, and it just kind of unfolds really nicely. So I want to bring all different kinds of prayer that I have found. There's like the Violet Flame. I'm sure you've probably heard of that with Elizabeth, Claire Prophet, and beautiful prayers for that, for transformation, and that I found very powerful, and they fit into like any belief system, any religion, right? And I've recognized that, the divine oneness, as I teach the universal laws in my class, and, we were learning divine oneness last week, and, I'm realizing that we're not gonna find the divine oneness on religion. We're not gonna find divine oneness in government or the ideals and the systems, that we have, right?
Mm-hmm.
But we will find divine oneness through the mystical of everything. So every culture, every religion, and that is exciting to me because I never was exposed to that until I went out on my own journey. And then I realized that we do connect totally on the mystical.
Right.
And then we are exactly one, and we wouldn't have a problem.
Mm-hmm.
So it's interesting to see.
Yeah. The expression of spirit.
Mm-hmm.
That once it comes through us, we change it to match our vibration and who we are and what makes us up, right?
Yeah.
And so people look at sometimes more of the difference than the similarity.
But the really, neat thing about when you connect through the mystical, and I connect my heart with your heart, and so on. There's this. Each person has a distinct experience,
Mm-hmm.
but there's always the undertone and connection of incredible love.
Mm-hmm.
And it just melts everything away. When you work in the Akashic Records,
yeah.
And people are coming to you with everyday issues, right?
Mm-hmm.
There is no possible way when you're in those records and in that high altitude of grace and vibration that you can ever judge, resist, or fear anything that's going on. You see it in that higher altitude, above all of that, above everything.
Yeah.
And let that person say, you know what, you're doing an awesome job with the resources that you have, and all of these kinds of things, and come from a totally different point of view, and it's totally always from love.
Mm-hmm.
And that fascinates me, to be able to do that day in and day out. So it's an enjoyable place to hang out to.
You do that very well because you are a practitioner
Mm-hmm.
of the Akashic Records, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you also teach.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So, and if people want to find you to take a class with you or to book a reading with you, a healing with you, how do they get a hold of you?
Well, they can go to my website, which is www.forinfinitegrace.com. I think even Discovering Infinite Grace on the Facebook page, there might be a message link there that I get information from. Or they can do email, discoveringinfinitegrace@yahoo.com. And also on the forinfinitegrace.com, there's like a little message.
Right. And it's the number 4, correct?
Yes, the number 4. Mm-hmm.
Okay, I just want to make sure.
Yeah, if you just put Infinite Grace in, you're going to get a nice church that's somewhere out west, I think. So yeah, you have to make sure you put that 4 in there, or you'll be.
I typed it for the note on screen, and I will put it in the comments below as well for us before we take off. If I can get down there. There we are. It's scrolling a little slow. For infinite. So.
And if anybody has any kinds of questions regarding the show, or things come up for them when they're listening to the show, please email me. Be more than happy to contact you either through email or however, because that's important to me. That connection is important to me. So
yeah, good. Okay. Well, thank you, Meg, and I will be catching your show on Thursday morning.
Well, thanks, Nesh.
Yeah, of course. I might be in my pajamas, but I'll be there.
That's okay. I'll be in my pajama bottoms. Because we only have to dress from here up.
If you want to hang out in the green room or in the studio there, I will be right with you. I just want to do a couple of things with our audience, and I'll be right with you.
Okay. Well, thanks. Bye, everybody. Good night. Peaceful night.
Wasn't that fun? I just love talking to Meg. You know, the way that she puts things, and just talking about spirit the way she does. You know, it's I love it. I do. And Connie is saying thank you to us. You're welcome, Connie. You're welcome. And I just wanted to show you guys something. You know, we're working on the January issue of Star Nations magazine. We're almost done. We publish tomorrow. I've got a couple of things left to do tonight, but I wanted to show you the cover. This is the cover. The magazine topics for the January issue is about bald. One of them is bald eagles, and another one is about mentoring. Yeah, and brunch and happiness, and so anyway, I just wanted to show you the cover early. I'll do a little something tomorrow after we publish, and we'll talk a little bit more about it. Well, you're welcome, Jocelyn. Jocelyn's saying thank you to us too. Thank you for being with us. And so I just wanted to give you a little bit of a sneak peek of the January cover. And that cover, there's two bald eagles on it. The one on the ground is a mature bald eagle, and the one in flight just above it is an immature bald eagle. And some people get those confused. Oh, they call them spotted eagles sometimes. And some people get them confused with golden eagles, because golden eagles do kind of have that mottled kind of coloring to them. But I wanted to show you that and say, you know, it's available starting tomorrow. I want to publish in the morning, probably before noon. And so it's available as a digital for Apple and Android, and also as a print on demand through our partners at magcloud.com. And through MagCloud, you can also get the magazine as a PDF and a web viewer version. So however you like to read, we have you covered. You just have to, if you want the digital, go to Apple or Android, which is the Google Play Store. And by the way, the app for the magazine is free. The magazine itself is $2.99, and it's chock full of spiritual articles from all our contributing writers. And the other thing I wanted to share with you is this. Let's see. Gotta go one more here. Gotta go from my left to my right. All right. You know what? That was the same problem that Mervyn Kelly had this morning on From Star to Stone. And there's a little glitch, I think, with the with pictures. With pictures, I think that's what it was, because I went away for a little bit, didn't I? And then I came back. We were teasing them about having disappearing stones and taking them away into another dimension. But anyway, I think I figured it out. I'm going to have to tell Mervyn about it. It has to do with the pictures. So anyway, I just wanted to give you a sneak peek at the cover, and thank you for joining me tonight for Star Nations Communications from Home. And we'll see you again next week for Star Nations Communications from Home, when my guest will be probably me. I think I'm going to be talking a little bit about the mentoring thing that we have going on in the magazine. So, all right, have a good rest of the week, and we'll catch you again next week on from Communications from Home. I almost said From Star to Stone. I don't think Stacy and Mervyn would know that. All right, good night, everybody. All right.